syndrome.
true.
Speaking of Tyra, we summoned the cryptid. Tyra is here. We talked about Shane. We talked about Tyra being a heel. Uh, no joke. Yeah, no, this is the drunk uncle party. You showed up just in time. But that's the daddy tell me a story, right? Tell me a story of when imposter syndrome wasn't just about your performance or your creativity. And I'll give you an example. My firstborn son, as a new dad, you're learning things, and I'm always fairly equipped to do things, but things happen. And there's just one day I just screwed it all up. I forgot to take the diaper bag, so I had one or two diapers, but not the bottle, and I ran out of formula and this and that and the other. And I'd gone to take him to see my parents and whatever. And well, yeah, we were broke back then, but I should have just gone and say, hey, let me make sure I have stuff to get us home. It's about an hour drive home. And we're getting home, and I know he basically needs a bottle. He's hungry, and he's crying. He's under one. He's crying, and I'm just stress level out the wazoo, and I'm almost crying with him. I'm like, "What do you want from me, man? I'm dry. I'm sorry." Of course, he didn't understand, and you do that there. I've got multiple stories like that where I felt like I'm not equipped to be a dad. I'm not equipped to do this thing. So where does imposter syndrome hit in your guys' life besides your performance or your creativity?
I've taken my kid to I've taken my kid to the shore forgetting sunscreen. I forgot a towel. I forgot, sand toys. Like it's kind of the same concept that you've had, Charles, right? We planned this whole trip out. We drive 3.5, 4 hours to get to the shore, to the beach. Everyone's really excited. We park, we get everything out. And my partner's like, all right, well, lather him up before you go out. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Well, we're at the beach, bud, and he's a child. Why don't you? Did you not bring or think of sunscreen? Like the basic thing you need for your child at the beach? Do you at least have a towel? You don't have a towel? Just like, oh my God. The only thing that could go worse is if, like, on the way home, we would blow a tire out. Thankfully, we didn't that day.
That time.
But just like the basic needs of what the kid needed at the beach. It was just like, yeah, nope, missed that one. Nope, missed that one. Oh, your boogie board, bud? No, sorry, I can't do that either. It's just like, oh man, like absolute low of low on like the fatherhood totem pole. Luckily enough, there was like a Dollar General where I could run out and pick all this up, right?
Yeah.
But at that moment that felt like 4 hours was just like, why does anybody trust me to be an authority figure over this little goblin that is just like, all he wants to do, he's been in the car for 4 hours, right? The Switch died an hour ago. Like, he's just anxious to go out and play. And it's just like, hey, yeah, I know. Look at your dessert you can't eat, dude. You got to wait because daddy didn't do his little job. So hold this resentment until you're in therapy that I pay for. Next time I'll do better, right? And now we have a checklist, kind of like when I do every morning and go to work. Coffee, keys, wallet, phone, right? And so sunscreen, towel, boogie board, and shovel.
Yeah.
So, Bob, you're the rideshare of fathers. How do you handle it?
Well, I'm actually encountering it in my day job right now.
Okay.
I've kind of shifted into a new position at work that's heavily based on data analytics. And spoiler, my background is not in data analytics, but I'm now heading a unit. Now I have a degree in sociology, but I mean that's at this point about almost 20 years old. So I've had stats and all that, but it's not fresh knowledge. And so I've been reaching out to luckily, we haven't really had a robust data analytics unit where I work. Like they've done a lot of reporting, but not a lot of analysis. So I'm kind of coming in and trying to get us to the next level. Um, but so I've been reaching out to other agencies in other states, like, hey, how do you do it? You know, and every time
Yeah.
I do it, it's very much just like, who am I to take time out of their day asking them? But it was funny.
Mm.
The last person I talked to, this was kind of a validating moment for me. Um, she worked at an agency in Missouri, and she was talking through all these like really cool things that they're doing. And she was like, saying, you know, if you would come, if y'all could come and visit, you know, we could show you the stuff in person. But she said, well, like, you know, I could show you some of it, but really, like, I'm not really the data person. I'm really more of a project manager. And I was like, wait, that's me. I I'm basically a project manager. Like, yes, I'm over data analytics, but really, no one's expecting me to do in-depth analysis on anything. I just have to coordinate and make sure it's all getting done. And so that was kind of a, okay, they're doing amazing things, and she's been ramrodding most of it, and she's got the same background as me. So that was kind of, that
Yeah.
helped me. I needed that because there had been a whole lot of Teams and Zoom calls with federal agencies and state agencies where I just felt like, God, what am I doing here?
Yeah. But that's the thing. You find the emperor's naked, right? The emperor has no clothes. You find out, oh, somebody else is human like I am. And I was the same way when I approach guests for Dragon Con or to try to get on my show, whatever. I'm like, I don't have 1 million followers on TikTok. You know, I'm not this, I'm not that. But then you talk to them and you talk, you know, like in your case, Bob, you might be talking about your books and they're like, oh man, I'm just starting to write a book. And now they're just sitting at your feet, you know, eating up the wisdom, right? And that's just, the example is they're just people. And most of the people that are cool to work with, you know, that fit into the energy that I like to work with are the same people who are like the three of us sitting here. You know, you don't think you're the super hotness. You're not the expert of anything. You think I'm the super hotness, Phil. I know. That's
That's
okay.
right.
I
was
get
gonna
those late
say,
night
yeah,
texts.
yeah.
Yeah. But you know, the humility that even if we were to be able to do this on like some big huge network thing and make millions of dollars, we'd still just be the same guys making dumb uncle jokes and going, I shouldn't be. Well, I always think I should be somewhere because I'm tired of not being in places, and I grew up being in places. So other than that, it's like, don't hand me a microphone and put me in front of the band. I really don't believe I should be there. But you let me introduce the band, I got you. Until I don't. I'll freak out about 3 seconds before, then I'll pretend I didn't. That's fine.
Yeah.
But Phil, how do you get past your imposter syndromes?
Oh man, that's a tough question. Well, it all depends. I mean, I learned a pretty helpful like tip a couple years ago, especially if it's not only imposter syndrome but it's also a panic attack, right? Your body can only deal with one emergency at a time. So that's why when I do go to Dragon Con, I have warheads in my pocket because at any point where I'm feeling kind of anxious and I'm feeling panicky and I'm feeling like I shouldn't be here, I'll actually throw a warhead inside my mouth.
And that's the sour candy?
Correct, because your
Yeah.
body can only deal with one emergency at a time. And since
Okay.
that one is more prevalent, it will slap you out of your panic attack to focus on the emergency that's happening inside your mouth. I don't know why it works because I'm a farmer, not a brain doctor. But I heard about it on a podcast, said BS, and tried it, and it works. But what
Okay.
you were also saying, Charles, helps me kind of deal with imposter syndrome is like we're all meat sacks, right?
Right. Right.
We're all just cucumbers with mental disabilities, like, and that's why like today, or not today, but in a couple weeks, I'm gonna be sitting next to Matt Demian, right? Love his books. My niece, obsessed. She lost her mind when I told her that. But like, I'm pretty chill about it because like we're all just cucumbers with anxiety, man. And so getting past that took many years of like realizing nobody's better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And also we've all had to go through kind of the same struggles of failure and all this. We talked about this through the entire podcast. It's weird. Last year, we did the imposter panel in the crystal ballroom. We moved it up from the basement into the crystal ballroom and literally was having imposter syndrome up on the panel talking about imposter syndrome
To a
because,
room
like,
full of people wanting to know
Yeah.
about how to get
Yeah.
past their imposter syndrome.
and
Yep.
it's just like and my internal thoughts was like, why am I up here? I have no idea why I'm up here. I'm sitting next to a bunch of people that are more qualified than I am. Even my friend Steven, all the way at the end, he's making better points than I am. I'm double guessing everything that I'm saying. And it was just like, you know what? We're all just cucumbers with depression and anxiety. And it kind of snapped me out of it. So I don't know, man. It doesn't work for everybody, kind of like parenting, right? What I do for my
Sure,
own
yeah.
self isn't
Yeah.
going to work for everybody, but reminding myself that we've all had crappier moments. We've all had projects that don't, or things that we've done that have failed. Everybody has done that and failed. And it's about just getting back up on that horse and going through it.
And I'm going to throw this to you, Bob. Would you say both creatively and as a parent, showing up is like 90% of getting it done?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The thing that's always surprised me is because, especially like I do the bulk outside of Dragon Con excluded, the bulk of the panels I do are literary based panels, and imposter syndrome comes up on I'd say half those panels, and I've been lucky enough to panel with some fairly big names out there, and every one of them is like, even though they're a big name author, they're like, oh yeah, I still have imposter syndrome, but I just put my head down and keep after it, and now I'm here, and maybe they're just being nice and saying that, but I choose to believe, uh, just like I want to believe in ghosts. I want to believe that they're being genuine with me. um, and I don't know, that helped me. The other thing that helped me was basically people gave me money and didn't complain.
Right. That helps a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, like I don't know, like the first time someone paid for me, not for a book, but they paid for me to come and speak. I was like, oh, wow, okay. I mean, let's be real, it was not a life-changing amount of money. But the fact that someone like valued my opinion enough that they would pay for me to come and speak to a group of people, and then some of those people came up after and were like, oh hey, no, that was really great, that was very helpful. That was the moment where I still have moments of just intense imposter syndrome. Um, but after that, I can, at least I have that. I can go back to that. Like, no, people have paid for the dumb things that you say, for all these puns. These puns are paying off. They're finally paying dividends.
Bob, do you remember the first time you felt imposter syndrome in your life?
Oh man, I mean, no, not the first time, because it's essentially been always like I was a very, very, very shy child. It took me a long time to kind of get over that. I One of those, like, chronic underachievers, and part of that was, I never really tried because I never thought I'd be, like, why try? I'm not as, I'm not that good. What to
Interesting.
what end?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's never been a time I feel like I haven't had it, and I just keep typically, the things I keep after I get to a point where I'm comfortable enough that eventually I've done it enough that I've gotten outside validation from strangers, essentially. And that, my friends are going to be nice to me no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like when, like book
What?
reviews come in from someone that I don't, random person on the internet is on Reddit saying, "Oh, hey, you need to check out Bob's books." I don't know them from Adam, and they're like my books, and they're taking time out of their day to recommend it. Like, that's mind blowing.
Your
Yeah.
friends are
to me.
nice to you?
Well, look, they're let's say that they're supportive.
Your friends
they're
are
generally
supportive?
Nice.
What?
Nice is a stretch. Supportive, yes. They will
Oh my
show up to my
God.
panels, but they may mock me mercilessly through.
My
throughout
friends
the
won't
panel.
even show up for my funeral, Bob.
They might, to just make
That's
sure
only
that
because
you're
you've
really
already
in there.
thrown 2 of them for yourself. We're
Yeah.
over it now.
Yeah. You know what? Third time's gonna stick.
Third time lucky.
Bob, were you like encouraged as a kid, like, hey, you could do anything you set your mind to it kind of deal?
Yeah, I was.
So-
I had pretty good.
Interesting.
I was lucky with my parents. Like, my parents divorced when I was very young, but they both remarried to really awesome folks, and they were generally supportive, while also being like, "Why are you not living up to your potential?" So it's kind of that dynamic of, yeah,
Also,
okay,
it's your
no,
fault, and
we
gotcha.
support you, but what's with the dog collar? Like, what's with the trench? Like, what's going on here, you weird little shit? Like,
Interesting.
what's going on?
See, I was always suppressed. Like, I was told, just because when I was 16 years old, I hit, at 14 years old, I hit 6 feet even. And I'd already had a weight issue from all the trauma in my
From the
life.
subway.
Yes. That's a bad callback. You can, but anyway, so my mom was like, "You're so strong. You're going to hurt people. You've got to always control. You've got to always make sure you're not. Oh, you're not. So I think that feeds into the spring of, the pinball machine of I fling out now, because now it's like, you can't tell me I can't be here, because I know I'm better than that. And I'm wondering if that's a thing. Go ahead, Phil.
It's literally why you're a fan of the Hulk so much.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I
identified with him.
Yeah, I had kind of a weird dichotomy in that both my step parent, like, the stereotype of the evil step parent, like, no, I got really great step parents, and I think I've modeled that. Like, I'm fortunate being a stepdad myself now, that I had these great step parents that I kind of saw how they treated me, and I've tried to mirror that with my own kiddo now. But my dad was this weird dichotomy of supportive but also verbally abusive. So, like, in high school, I was a compulsive liar, because I would say whatever I thought would cause me to get the least amount of, angry reaction. So I would say anything just to not get yelled at. And so, yeah, it was a factor, I'm sure, but it was weird. Like, at the same time, if you wanted a book, my dad had a policy: if you wanted a book, no questions asked, he'd buy it for you.
Okay.
He supported me going to college. So it was weird. I think he just didn't. He worked at a very high stress job. He worked in the oil industry, where literally, like, people died, not irregularly. So he kind of didn't know how to turn that off when he came home. So you could see the moments where he wanted to be better, but didn't know how to process it. Therapy would have done him a lot of good, but
But
yeah.
boomers don't go to therapy.
Well, on that note, Wise and Nerdy is brought to you by Taco Bell. Because why go to therapy when you can have a $7 cravings box?
No, but I mean that's literally what like that is my work life is like. My work life is just I work for a farm up here in Gettysburg, and it's just like it's always such a high stress because like if I make a minor mistake, like my boss will freak the heck out about it. And it's just like so now I'm like working in these confines of like I can't make a minor mistake or like A, I'm gonna get yelled at for like 20 minutes, but B like I'm also more tense, so like I'm more likely to make a mistake at work because like I'm not working as fluently as possible. So like to hear like it's almost working on eggshells
Yeah.
is kind of what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It
And
was
Taco
it was
Bell,
it was not great.
Charles.